Good morning, students of class 10. Today we will discuss line by line explanation of this story, The Necklace. As you know, in this story, Matilda is the main character. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into a family of color. She was very pretty young lady, one of the youngest lady, and born as if an error. It is an error of destiny that she was born in the family of a clerk. She had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved and married by a man either rich or distinguished, and she was married to an ordinary person who is neither rich nor distinguished famous, and she allowed herself to marry a pretty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. To underline, she was married to a PT means common clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple but she was unhappy. She suffered incessantly, continuously, feeling herself born for all delicacies, tasty dishes and luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment room, the shabby, dirty walls and the worn chair. Because her husband is only a clerk, so she had no luxurious things. She was suffering from the poverty, whether it is room, the walls of the rooms were also dirty and torn chairs, etc. All these things tortured and angered her, and she was suffered from all these things. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie! I know nothing better than that," she would think of elegant dinner. When her husband appreciated the dishes and said, "Good pot pie," but she only thinks about the elegant dinner of shining silver. She thought of exquisite food served in marvelous dishes, and she saw dreams of marvelous dishes, dinner. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, but she loved only those things. She didn't love anything, jewels, frocks, etc. She loved only those things. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who did not like to visit. She suffered so much. When she returned, she wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. Now she had a friend also. That friend is a schoolmate at the convent, but she didn't visit her because when she returned from there, she became disappointed and despair. One evening, her husband returned, elated, happy, bearing in his hand a large envelope. One evening, her husband returned from the office with a large envelope. Her, he said, "Here is something for you." He said that here is something for you. She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words: "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Rompnew asked the owner of M and Madame Loisel's company Monday evening, January 18th, at the minister's residence." Now this is the invitation of the minister's side, and he was very happy. He showed this to his wife, Madame Loisel. Instead of being delighted means happy, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully, hatefully upon the table, murmuring, speaking softly, "What do you suppose I want with that?" She became angry and she said, "What is the use of this? But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion and a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very slack. Not many are given to the employees. You will see the whole official were there." Now, Loisel said that you will be happy to know because you have no place to visit outside, so I thought that you will be happy, and everybody wants such invitation because all the whole official would Come there. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, what do you suppose I have to wear such a thing as that? Now, student, as you know, this is the habit of the ladies that although they had a lot of dresses, attires, but when they want to go anywhere at that time, they said they had nothing to wear. He had not thought of that. He stammered, why, the dress you wear when we will go to the theatre. You can wear that dress when we go to the theatre. It seems very pretty to me. He was silent, stupefied in dismay. Stupefied in dismay at the sight of his wife weeping. He stammered, what is the matter? What is the matter? But she didn't happy. By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. Nothing, only I have no dress, and consequently I cannot go to this affair. I cannot go there because I had no suitable dress. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better witted out than I. And she also suggested her husband to give that invitation to any other whose wife has better attires. He was grieved. Grief said, but answered, let us see, Matilda, how much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple. And now he asked, what is the cost of a suitable cost? She reflected for some second, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with it an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk, because they could not spend much money. So finally she said in a hesitating voice, I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it. 400 francs enough for it. He turned a little pale, for he had saved just this sum to buy a gun, and he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer with some friends who went to shoot skylarks on Sundays. Nevertheless, he answered, very well, I will give you. And now her husband Loiser gave her 400 francs to buy a suitable dress. So students, I think you are able to understand the story. Thank you, students.